Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. It's Wednesday the 15th of September. Okay, here we go. Got a new one for you today. Yes, I do. Brand new. Hot off the press. Artisan. Let's take a look at it. Artisan box. You know they do everything with a lot of class when you get to their titanium level. A lot of class. Absolutely like Artisan. Absolutely love them. That's what I should say. The knives I've gotten from Artisan so far are awesome. This is a brand new one. This is coming from Knife Country, USA. Knife Country, USA. The price of it was expensive. This is not an inexpensive knife. The Artisan pouch looks like a wallet. Similar to like my wallet. Absolutely love it. Got all the information in here. This is your warranty card. This is a polishing cloth. It even has the Artisan emblem on it. And it says Artisan Cutlery. Very classy. Well, very well done. Artisan has a lot of style. And then they have a card that tells you the specs of the knife that you just purchased. Let's read the specs. Specifications: model 1810G. Lock type Framelock. Blade steel M390. That's right, M390. I told you only one of these titaniums was going to be a S35EN. This is the second one. It's an M390. Blade hardness 58 to 60 HRC. Love them knives. Tested these Artisans a couple years ago, and they turned out to be very legit. And their tempering was actually like 61 and 62. It was actually a little bit higher than 60. So I don't know if that means that the knife steel would be brittle for the type of steel it is, or if that's proper, you know, because I'm not a metallurgist and I'm not going to try to pretend to be. Y'all can figure that out. But, you know, it just means to me that's going to hold the edge really good, but it might be hard to resharpen. Okay, here we go. Handle material, titanium. Structure, ceramic bearings. It has ceramic ball bearings in the pivot. All right. And this one is the expensive version of my new favorite budget knife. Well, I shouldn't say my favorite, because you know I love my cold steel not Towers, but Voyagers. But this is one of them. This is probably one of my favorite. I can't even say that, because my favorite liner lock, you know, is a Trilite 6. You know, let's keep it real. But this is like right behind it. Absolutely love it. This blade I have not been able to get sharp yet. I mean, I've got this part to this part pretty sharp, but it's like when you go from here to here, because I've noticed like the blade thickness stays right up to about here, and then it slopes down to the point, but it comes up way up to the midline of the blade. So this is a 3.8 millimeter blade stock. So it stays it stays real thick. It gets down to about 2.7 or something right in here, but it's still thick because it's real thick behind the edge. That's what I'm trying to say. It's real thick behind the edge, and it's hard to get it sharp. Get it sharp where it slices through paper, because all the blade is sharp right now. And as you can see, I put a polished edge on it, but it's like it's really hard to get this one sharp from this part of the blade forward. Now I think it has to do with the way that the blade is ground, because it's so thick behind the edge. When you go to slice through something, it sort of like gets stuck right here. But anyway, that's my experience with that so far. Anything else I got to report on this one? I'm wearing the finishes off. I don't know if you can see this. because I've been practicing with this one a lot, doing like pocket snagging, because this one pocket snags really good, but you can see like the finish is wearing off where it snags at. But I've been using this one. It's been constantly fidgeted with. This one to me is the most fun knife to fidget with. The budget Artisan Cutlery Hornet. It is a super fun knife to fidget with. Not only because it looks sexy and makes it funner, funner to fidget with, for me anyway, because I like switchblades and Italian type stilettos and folding knives and things like that. And so that's what this falls into the category of to me. It looks like like a stiletto or a switchblade or something. But the way that these quillons are shaped, they're bad for protecting your finger as far as like a flipper is concerned, because these will slide in on your finger. Now, I've been cut by it once. I don't know, my cut's pretty much healed up now. But I've been cut by it once. I was wearing gloves and I was just testing it to see if it would cut me. And it did. These quillons won't protect your fingers, so it protects them up to a certain point. Like if you're really holding it like this, where you're pushing against the quillons, this blade's not going to go anywhere. But if you're holding it back on the handle like this, more like in a proper grip for this knife, like a hammer grip, this quillon, if it comes undone, it's not going to really protect you. It's going to hit you right there, bam. So I cannot say that this is a super safe knife, even though when it locks up all the way. The leaf spring is all the way on the blade tang, that's what I'm saying. So, and this knife feels solid. There's no lock rock or anything like that, and it just locks up very solid. There's no side to side or anything, and it just operates super smoothly. Ever since I took apart the pivot and put back the pivot with some blue Loctite, this knife has stayed centered. I haven't had to readjust it at all. It just stays where it's supposed to stay. And the way that these quillons are shaped, I don't know if you can see that right there, but when all you gotta do is just push down on it, and it comes out. That wasn't even no pressure. I mean, the detent on this knife is perfect. I think it's perfect anyway. It comes out super smooth. This knife is super, 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 super smooth as far as like deployment is concerned of the blade. But as a self-defense tool, I would worry about the way that the quillons are shaped. I don't know if I'd want to use it for that, even though that's what it looks like it's mainly just for. For me, it's just a fun knife to fidget with. I'm not going to carry this one, as far as like carry it out in public or whatever. Because of the way the quillons are, I don't feel safe with it. But I do love these knives, and I will be collecting them because these are some awesome knives. And if you're not like me, if you're a person that doesn't care about quillons and flippers and all that kind of stuff and protecting your finger, and you just want a really nice liner lock, that's what this is. This is a really nice liner lock. It's a really nice liner lock. I think it would be very cool if Artisan did that Cold Steel does with their expensive Oyabun and put the liner lock in here. That way I would feel more secure with it, and I wouldn't be so worried about the shape of the quillons where it not protect me like a flipper knife or not, because I know that this piece couldn't float back and unlock the blade, the leaf spring, because of the liner lock. I absolutely love these. You know me, people, I love stilettos. And this is a super beautiful stiletto. And this is only $59. $59. You get these $59 all day long. And this is the one with the contoured handles. You get the one without the contoured handles with the blocky handles for like $52. It's even cheaper. And then you get the one with the single ply carbon fiber over G10 for $64. but it has the blocky handles again. I like the contoured handles. I like these handles. All the budget knives that are Artisans that I ordered all have the contoured handles. Except for the Shark, I think. The Shark didn't have contoured handles. But the Hornet and the Waistline, the ones I ordered, will have these kind of handles. And with these handles, the pocket clip is embedded into the handles. That's sitting on top of the handle. So you won't get all this side-to-side movement and stuff like that because it's sitting inside a slot. There you can see like that right there. That's the other side. You take off that plate and that's where you put the pocket clip. And you put the plate on this side. Absolutely love these knives, and make sure you get the newer models with the pivots like this. With a T8 torque screw on this side. Because the older ones had two pivots, like they were like this, and the adjustable side you had to use a special tool to undo it. And then the newer ones all have this type of pivot. I like this better. I like the torque stick bit better. Okay, well anyway, let's get on to the new one. This is the one I've had for a couple weeks now. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, it's a budget knife, but it's an awesome budget knife. That's the way I would put it. And this is the high-end version of this knife. This one has D2 steel, and it's coated with the coating. I don't know if it's PVD because it's wearing off kind of easily. But it's wearing off more like a Cerakote, so it might be a Cerakote finish. Because that's how Cerakotes wear off. Cerakotes wear like that too. But they wear nicely though. They don't wear unnicely. Let's move all this stuff out the way. I love these tin boxes that the Artisan knives come in. Look at that, perfectly centered. M390 steel. This one has full titanium handles. Titanium pocket clip. And this one has the ball bearings, or the ceramic ball bearings are encased in phosphor bronze cages. And this one I think it's nylon, because when I look inside of it I can see like a white nylon that the ball bearings are encased in. So I think it's a little bit different. But this is $59 and this one is $224. $224. But I got it at Knife Country, so I used the discount code. I think it was KCUSA or something like that. Used the discount code and got 5% off, and then brought it back down to $213, I think it was. And that was the ship to me price was $213. This knife is perfect. I've already looked at it because I couldn't wait. It is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Flawless. But I can't say flawless because it still has the same issue as the other knife, as far as like the blade edge. I'll let you guys look at the edge real good. But see how there's no flaws in the edge. There's no chips, there's no dings, there's no rolls, nothing like that. I think it's just the way that it gets thick right here behind. It gets super thick right behind the edge, and when it goes to the point. But this knife is meant to be more of a total self-defense knife. It's not meant to be a knife for doing everyday cutting chores. Do you guys know about the Daryl Ralph stilettos? The Max 5.5 stilettos that they made back in the day. They have blue titanium handles, and they have blades that pretty much look like this blade, only bigger. They're 5.5 inches long, made out of D2, satin finished blades. That's what this knife reminds me of. It looks like a smaller version of the Daryl Ralph. I guess it would be considered mid-tex because they're manufactured by Camillus. but they were Daryl Ralph designs. Sort of like the Brian Ty and Friends knives. I would call them actually like a mid-tech knife. But I used to have like 3 of them. I ended up selling them all. And I had like 3 of the Bowie blade ones too. I wish I would have kept at least one of them. Those were awesome knives. I got offered a lot of money for those. Because they became real expensive when the titanium prices went up. But they were a Framelock knife too. Titanium Framelock. But they didn't have these inserts, if I remember right, where, you know, when the titanium wears down, you could change it or whatever. That idea came out after those were made. Absolutely love this knife. This knife is so beautiful, I want to carry it. But I bought all these titanium ones with the idea of just collecting them, not carrying them. And I got one of each of the budget models in the same version. And the budget model was one I plan on carrying. But like I said, I'm not going to carry this one though because of what I told you about. I don't feel it doesn't meet my safety requirements. That they're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the action on these is perfect. Perfect. These feel like $300 knives. Both of the knives I've received from Artisan, the Waistline and this one, are perfect. I mean, they both look like they're worth more than what you pay for them. Like I said, this was $213, but it looks like a $300 knife to me. You know, I don't have a whole lot of $300 knives or whatever, but I do have my Brian Ty and Friends, my Hogues. And I don't know, I got a few other knives that are expensive knives too. And this one's just as good as any of them. I'm talking about the quality, the fit, the finish, the materials. M390 steel, titanium handles, back spacer, glass breaker. I think this is supposed to be tungsten carbide that's in the glass breaker, and then the hardened stainless steel piece on the frame lock that's replaceable. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful knife. And they make these in all sorts of different colors and like 3 different blade steels. Because I think they have a S35VN, and then they have a Damascus, and then they have the 390. And then the budget version comes in D2. But I bet you the new budget version is going to have the new RPM 9 powdered steel. And if that's the case, if they come out with these with RPM 9 powdered steel, I'm going to be getting those too. Absolutely love this. And I don't have too many knives with M390 steel. I have a lot of them with S35VN. But this one makes me want to get the S35VM model too. Now this knife is so beautiful, I want to carry it. Even though it doesn't totally meet my safety requirements, it's just a really beautiful knife. It's one of the most beautiful stilettos I've ever owned. As far as like the materials that's made out of, because Italian stilettos, they didn't come with M390 stainless steel. You'd be lucky to get 420 HC. But they came with the steels that they came with until lately. Now they're making them with better steels and stuff like that because everybody's turned into steel snobs, and they don't want to buy things with lower grade steels. So they stepped up their game a little bit. But when I was collecting them, they always use and I don't even know what kind of steel they use. It was like 400 series like a low 400, like a 420 or something like that. Absolutely love these. Absolutely love them. Let's compare them to my some of my favorites, some of my old-time favorites. Now let's first go with my first one. Now this is titanium too. That has a titanium handle. This was the first cold steel tie light. The very first, when they first came out. I used to have two of them, but I sold one to one of my buddies that passed away. He had a bad motorcycle accident. He died in an accident. My buddy Mouse. I prospected with him. But, no, I just had a moment. Okay. But these, I'm not sure what kind of steel these are. I want to say they're Oz 8. I can't remember. Can't remember if they were like VG1, Oz 8, or 440A, or whatever. Those were pretty much like the steels that Cold Steel was using back then. But a lot of times when they didn't put down the label of steel it was usually because it was Oz 8. A lot of old Cold Steel knives, they have Oz 8, they don't say Oz 8 on them. But this one's made in Seiki, Japan. 2001 was when this one was made. I purchased it in 2001. This is my first cold steel knife. Now, I know you guys always hear me talk about my my Voyager, my Tonto Voyager. That's my first cold steel triad knife. That's not my first cold steel knife. It's my first cold steel triad. That's when I really got hooked on cold steels, when I got the triads. But this is a 9-inch knife too, just like these. And these had budget versions also with the Zytel handles. And Zytel handles, or handles made out of this kind of material. This is Zytel. This is one of my new ones I like. The one that's out right now. It's one of my house knives. It's a good way to put it, house knife. Let's put some of this stuff out the way. And one of my old favorites, factory favorites, unmodified ones, out of all the cold steel tie lights, I would have to say it would be the CTX XHP version with the G10 handle scales. This one. And this is the one I used to carry. It's got a little wear mark right here. I think this is the best one of all of them. If you're actually going to carry one and be carrying them and everything, because this kind of knife is really big, and I would advise carrying dark colored big knives. Don't carry bright looking big knives. You don't want to be carrying this. That is way too flashy to be in a pocket, unless you're wearing something over your pocket or whatever, like a jacket or shirt or whatever. But if your shirt's tucked in or whatever, and you can see the knife pocket clip and the top of the knife, this would attract the wrong attention because you can see that's a big knife. I'm sure the police know what a Tie Light 6 looks like. But this is one of my favorites. This is the one that I customized myself. This one's a customized knife too, but not because of the fit or the finish. It's because I swapped all the parts. This is supposed to have is it OD green, or it might be the dark earth colored handle scales. This one's the way it comes from the factory, way it came from the factory. CTS XHP. This one's S35VN. Oh, wait a minute, no, this one's 440C. These are the Lynn Thompson specials. And this was number 154. Yep, 154. Absolutely love it. And these are the newest Chris's. This is serrated Chris. This is a GSM serrated Chris. The other ones are cold steel knives. Well, they're all cold steel knives, but I mean the original cold steel factory. This is from the GSM factory. And they came out with the serrated Chris. I think it's badass. I love the serrated Chris. But these are my stilettos. Let's weigh them out and see what the weight differences were. Some of my favorite stilettos now that I have in my collection. 4.4 ounces for the original cold steel Thai Light. And this is one where they get the name from for Thai Light. They're made in Seiki, Japan. Yeah, titanium handle scales. I'm not sure if the pocket clip was titanium. It looks like it could be titanium. But I won't tell you that it's titanium because I don't know for sure. It might be stainless steel with a titanium finish. But it looks like it'd be titanium. I'm not sure. Here we go, the new kid on the block. The titanium Artisan Cutlery. Same size, 9-inch stiletto. This one's 4.9 ounces as opposed to 4.4 ounces. Did I have that right? 4.4? Yep, 4.4. This one's 4.9, almost 5 ounces. The budget version with G10 contoured G10 CNC contoured G10 handle scales with full stainless steel liners. Everything's all blacked out. I'm not sure what the coating is. I thought at first it might be PVD, but the way it's wearing, it wears more like a Cerakote. So I'm not sure what the coating is. Both of these have glass breakers. And both of them have skeletonized handle scales. Or this one does anyway, not this one. No, this one's not skeletonized at all. This one's skeletonized on the non-leaf spring side. Let's see how much it weighs. 5.1. 5.1. Another thing I want to say about this one, I sort of like the way this handle feels on the budget version better than I do than the one on the titanium. And the reason why is because the titanium one is the girth of it is a little bit smaller. What I mean by the girth, I mean this way. Not this way, but this way. The girth of it's a little bit slimmer, and it feels a lot more slippery in my hand. Whereas this one, the girth of it is wider this way. Let me see if I can show that to you guys. And so, this one, when it's in my hand, it's in my hand. I don't know, just that little bit of extra girth makes a big difference in the grip. And if I was to carry one of these knives, you know, for self-defense, I think I'd want to carry the liner lock. Even though I love the way that the titanium one is made the best. I mean, the fit and finish is second to none. It's top quality. But this one, because it has a thicker handle, it just fits my hand better. And that's extremely important if you have a self-defense tool. You definitely want something that fits your hand. Don't get something that's not comfortable in your hand, or don't get something that's slippery in your hand. You have to have a good grip. If you don't have a good grip, then that's not a good self-defense tool. That's my advice. From all the things I've learned since I've been into these kind of knives, you know, you definitely want to have a good grip. This one right here, let's see what it weighs. The serrated Chris, GSM Chris, cold steel Chris, 7.1 ounces. For a knife that has a 6-inch blade, that's not that bad. That's pretty lightweight. All right, let's do this one last. Let's go to this one next. This is my favorite one that I never modified. It's totally factory, the way it came from factory. And one thing I want to point out about that I like about the cold steels, that Artisan Cutlery, maybe you need to take a note of this. But cold steels will cut all the way through. All the way through. Now let's check out what the new kit on the block will do. So you get stuck right there. But you can tell that blade is sharp. It just has to do with the geometry of the blade. Let's see what the old cold steel would do. This one has always been collected. It's never been used. Oh man. See what I'm saying? This edge is from 2001, the original cold steel factory. It's never been modified, it's never been sharpened, it's never even been stropped. And it's still razor sharp. Now if cold steel can do that, now if you look at these blades though, you can see that the difference in them is that towards the tip, this one has hardly any belly at all. It just goes straight up to the tip like a spear point. This one has belly. I think that's the reason why this one will cut all the way through, from the choil to the tip, and these don't. Because it goes up to a point where it gets really thick, as far as the edge is concerned. And I think that's just the way that these are made. So like if you get one of these, don't expect it to be like a slicey knife where it'll slice, from the choil to the tip. Number one, these kind of knives aren't meant to be slicers. These kind of knives are meant to be stickers. Is that a good way to put it? Stickers. They're meant to penetrate from the tip. That's their main purpose. These aren't meant to be slicing things and doing your everyday cutting chores. These are self-defense tools. That's why I would describe these. Absolutely love them though. Definitely get out there and check out the new Artisans. And like I said, if you don't want to spend the $225, get one of these for $59. These are awesome. These are awesome. And I love the way that they package these up in the boxes and everything. It makes a very nice collecting package. And that's what I got this one for. I got to be a collector. Absolutely love it. And these are my first Artisans. I'm really impressed with Artisan. And the action on these is so smooth. It reminds me of like the Brian Ty. The Brian Ty and Friends knives. It has super smooth action too. This is my Brian Ty and Friends, the large one. And then when you release it, and there's no blade wobble in this knife. This knife is totally solid. No up and down, no side to side or nothing. And look, this one is the most drop shutty knife I have, if that's the proper term. Is that something? No wrist movement at all. These are awesome knives. Brian Ty and Friends. The only thing I don't like about this one is the way that the pocket clip is. I could do without this pocket clip. But I know, it matches the handle and everything like that, but it's too loud for me. So I never really carry this knife. I've only carried it a couple times because I don't like the pocket clip. And the time I did carry it, I scratched the pocket clip too. I don't know if you can see that. So, but the knife is awesome. The knife is awesome. Absolutely love it. Definitely worth $200. And you can get the S35 versions for like 178, 180, 89, right around in there. At the different online dealers and on eBay auctions and things like that too. During the Labor Day sales, they had these going for like 100, Not these, but they had like the S35 VM ones. I saw them as low as like 168 on eBay. Different dealers were, you know, doing their Labor Day sales. So next time sales come up, you might want to check it out. You know, next holiday sales, if you're interested in one of these and don't want to spend a whole lot of money for it. Because I noticed that there's a lot of these out there. And if you go on eBay and you search out like a shark, or you search out like a waistline or a Hornet, you'll pull up a lot of offerings. A lot of auction offerings, and people buy it now offerings. So I know there's a lot of these out there right now. So if you want to get one, now's the time to get one, because that's when the deals are the cheap, or when you get the best deals is when the market's flooded with something. Now, when they stop making these, because I've heard rumors that these might get discontinued. If you go on Knife Center and you look up these, and they'll say that they're discontinued, that they're not going to have any more of them, the ones that they're out of. So I don't know if that means that they're going to stop production on these, or if they're just out for right now and you have to wait until the next batch comes out. I don't know what that means. It sort of sounds like they're not going to make them anymore. If they stop making this knife, it's going to shoot up in value, because it's a beautiful knife. I know these come from China. A lot of people have problems with things that come from China, but the quality in this one is just awesome. I like Artisan Cutlery. The other knives tested the steel on these, and it was all legit steel, so this is the real deal. Real titanium, real M390, and the quality is second to none. The quality of this knife is second to none. Just look at it. This just looks beautiful. If you're a person that likes stilettos and knows what stilettos look like, and know that usually stilettos aren't high quality knives, well, this is a high quality stiletto. Very well made. I know it's probably a factory knife, but you know, they did an excellent job. The only part that, like I said, the only part that I have a little bit of a problem with is the edge. How you know, the way it doesn't cut all the way through things. But other than that, this knife is perfect. This knife is perfect. Absolutely love it. That's about all I got for these. Let you guys get a good look at them. Beautiful knives, beautiful knives, beautiful knives. Absolutely love them. Need to pull these back a little bit now. Trying to get all these knives in the frame. All right, that's good enough, huh? There we go. All right. Well, that's it for today. Peace out. Stiletto. I'll put this one out for you guys today. Or maybe tomorrow. I'll put it out for tomorrow, because I think I already released one for today. Peace out. Stiletto.